Hi, welcome back to Willard Library's summer reading program. And this is the craft for week 5. It is a creepy creature. It's actually a anglerfish is what we're calling it. It has a nice little light up light here. So if you've studied the ocean and you've seen the way the anglerfish lures its prey, this one's ready to go. He's also just a little bit sweeter maybe than the ugly ones under the sea. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing that you are going to need is you're going to have a glue stick, and you need to come to Willard Library and pick up your craft kit. It includes this light, which somehow some bunch of them didn't end up in the envelopes, so we just taped them to the front. You need to have your paper lantern and then your kit. And your kit has just a lot of little pieces in it, so let's dump them out and see what's here. We have the antenna that is actually going to hold your light. Okay, so let's lay that up here. We have this little piece which is going to go on the back side of our fish. We have the pectoral fins. We have the back fins. Can't remember what they're called. We have the dorsal fins. This little piece will help hold our antenna on, and of course gotta have lips, fish lips. So we open up this bag. We will need this piece. So I should be say moms and dads, you are going to need to help with this craft. Unless your children are older, it is a little bit more difficult and mistakes are very easy to make. If you tear it up, just come back and get another one. We have plenty. At least I think we do. So the first thing I want to show you is this little piece of metal here that goes in the middle that holds you, it will hold your lanternfish open. You need to make a slight adjustment. It does not require tweezers or pliers or any kind of special equipment. You just need to take this and bend it. But you need to make sure when you do so that this little piece right here ends up facing down, not up. So I just take this and I just bend it. And we're just doing that to get it out of the way because we don't want it poking out the hole, okay? It's a very easy fix. So the next thing we're gonna do is this will open and be held open with our metal, but not yet. Okay, so from this part of the fish, the lantern is actually gonna be the front of the fish. So we need to count back 6 of these little ridges. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, okay? And I like to do it right here because this is just a little bit reinforced. You can kind of see the seam through there. And we are gonna poke holes in tissue paper. So the way we're gonna poke the hole is very carefully. We're gonna grab the stem here. And again, this is probably a mom or dad thing for the younger kids because otherwise they may end up poking their fingers. Just poke a little hole there and a little hole there. Not difficult at all to do, okay? So then we take this button, for want of a better word, push your pipe cleaner through it, make one little twist just to keep it secure. And then, and this is where it gets a little bit more difficult, I like to go through the back as a bare hole. Just come through the back and carefully go back through the hole that you made. Okay, so I have one hole there, and now I'm through, and one hole there, and I'm through, okay? Just carefully pull that through. If it tears a bit of Scotch tape will reinforce it. And then pushing it just as tight as you can from the underside. I've got my finger here pushing it. Just make a twist. Okay. And now we're going to twist this all the way up. Okay. Okay. So the reason we did this before we put the metal piece in the middle is just simply because it's easier to reach. Now that I've reached the end here, I'm just going to attach my little lantern and take the pipe cleaner over, twist it again, and here I have my anglerfish piece is all in. Okay, it would be helpful once you're done, if you can get a piece of tape, Scotch tape, and just put it in here, might help it with a little bit with stability, but it's not essential. If you don't have any tape, don't worry about it. Okay, just makes it a little more stable. Okay, so the next thing you do is you take this metal piece and you push it in through the back like this, and you're going to bring it all the way up and hook it on these little pieces of metal here and here. And turn it around and make sure it's good here. It's going to buckle a little in the inside, maybe even make a little strange noise. That's okay. So now he's got the right shape and he's got his little angler. Okay. So now you're going to take this little red piece here. This is the piece that goes on the very back, and you're just going to put some glue right around the edge. It doesn't need to go all the way across because most of this is not going to touch the fish, just the edges, okay? And you're going to put it right here with the slots going where your little metal pieces are that stick out. And just give it a little bit of a rub there. You don't want to push too hard, you'll collapse the whole thing. So you flip it over, and the next part we're going to do is we're going to give this little guy a dorsal fin. Now when the first time we did this, we only used one, and in fact some of the kits may only actually have one in it because it looks okay, but we looked at it again and thought it might look a little better with two. So you see how I'm bending these pieces here together, or up? Those are the part that are actually going to glue to your fish. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue in here and a little bit up here, and I'm going to turn this one over like this, and I'm going to kind of put them together because it'll make a little bit sturdier, a little bit nicer dorsal fin, and still give us what we need to glue it down. So it's a little hard to get it lined up perfectly. And if it's not perfect, that's okay. I don't think you'll find any fish in nature that are 100% perfect either. So this one needs a little bit more glue, it appears. So does that one. So glue them together. There we go. And then you're going to want to glue, well, they just don't want to stick together. These pieces here need to have glue in them so that this can then be stuck to top of our fish. And we want to make sure we pay attention to where it goes. It's going to need to go right there. You see that? So that it is glued in line with our flashlight, our lure. Okay, and it takes a little bit just to get it to stay. Just hold it until it dries. Okay, it turns out it works a little better to use school glue of some sort on your dorsal fin. So I have him balanced on a coffee pot. I'm gonna move him out of the way a little bit. Whoa, not balanced very well. So we set him aside to dry since I had to use the school glue. We balanced him on a coffee pot. Little terracotta flower pots work great too. So I'm going to fold this one here, and I'm going to fold this one here, and then glue them together. I do prefer to use the glue sticks just because they dry faster. So we're going to go back to using the glue stick here. Okay. Now we're going to glue this together, make it into a single fin. Just leave it a little bit separated at the bottom so we can glue it to the back of the fish. we go. I'll put glue back here. And this is going to glue on a lot easier than the dorsal fin did because you're not trying to glue it onto a ridged surface. You're just gluing it to, you see that? You're just gluing it to this. So, stick it on there. And there we go. It's nice and stuck. It's pretty easy. Okay. So, next thing we need to do are his pectoral fins. We've got the tail fin, we've got the dorsal fin, and now we're going to do with the pectoral fins. So named because they go where, you know, he would have pecs if he was human. I don't know. Here we go. And just a little bit of a glue, and I'm gonna put it on here. And you turn around and you're going to do the exact same thing on the other side. Okay. Okay. So he's almost done, but he still can't see anything. We're going to give him some eyes. We just need a little bit of glue on the eyeball and stick it to the round, the circle of white. You can do this however you want. You can give him crazy eyes. You can give him angry eyes. It really just depends on where you put the eyeballs. If I put him on like this, then there's something wrong with him. He's a little crazy, you know. If I put him on with those right in the middle, he might look like he was yelling at me, but I prefer it to look like he's looking one direction or the other. So I'm going to put him on like this, right here. We'll flip it over. So, and I'm going to glue them on, and he's currently looking towards my computer screen. So, just gently press it down. This is not meant to be a toy played with later. It's just meant to look pretty. So it's not going to be very terribly sturdy, but it's going to be really cute. Flip it over here, and we're going to put glue on this one. And we're going to glue that eye. Whoops. After we knock him over. Put that eye over here. We're going to hold that on. Okay. And we really only have one more piece to attach, and that's this big old fish lips. Because of the circle here, it looked a little wonky. We decided to give him lips. So figure out which way your lips need to go, because it really does depend on how you put in your insert. Figure it out, and then give your lips a little bit of a bend so that they can go across that, because that's going to stick out a little. And then, just like we did with everything else, just give it a super good coating of your glue. All right, if there's extra that doesn't touch the fish, it's okay, it'll dry. Got that pretty well done there, and then we just put his lips on, and we're going to hold those for just a minute. And there you go. He's not quite dry yet, but he's good enough to show you all. And then he's an anglerfish. He's out there luring his prey in, just like the anglerfish that we read about in our story today, in our themed read, the hairy frogfish. You learn about how to lure in, how the hairy frogfish lures in its prey. And it's exactly the same way your little fish here will. Thanks for joining me. Be sure you watch the hairy frogfish, and the Pap Pap fish is also a fun story that we have online today. Thanks and have a great day.